Okay, hello everybody. Welcome back to my channel today. I'm Kevin, and today we're back to our first World War topic. So, in our last topic, we already talked about Gallipoli in Turkey. Today, we are keep going to talk about the geography of the First World War, and we are going to talk about two countries. Yeah, we're talking about two countries in the First World War that only joined the war in the 1915. So those two countries is the Italia and Bulgaria. So while some Scotch armies was locking out in Gallipoli, two more countries, which is Italia and Bulgaria, already tried and sitting on the sideline since like since the World War start. But in 1915, they finally or eventually chose their team. So Italia chose the Ally and Bulgaria chose the German side. So for Italia, when the war broke out, Italy declared it is neutrality. Although it was technically allied to the Central Powers, but the Italian Prime Minister, the Antonio Salantra, has secretly become, let's say, also, we could say that as an arbiter. Okay, he negotiates and creates a secret alliance with both sides, and then he looked for an opportunity to take the side that give him the best thing. So he called this thing the sacro egoismo, or we could say the sacred self-interest. On April 26, 1915, Italy joined the Allied powers. In return, they were promised the control of Italian-speaking areas of Austria-Hungary and other territories when they already get the victory of the war. And of course, I mean territories, sorry. So after they have their alliance, the Italian declared war against Austria-Hungary, but not Germany. Okay, they just declared the allies of Germany, that is Austria-Hungary, but they not directly declared a war on Germany. So on May 23, they immediately launched attacks along the whole of the frontier, most of which ran through the Alps. The Austrians retreat a short way, but only to dig the trenches. And of course, this gave them a tactical advantage since they dig the trenches in a higher place and get the tactical advantage over the attackers. Bitter fighting took place in the section of the fronts, and by the end of 1915, the Italians had fought a battle and tried to take control of the river, but they had already suffered over 300,000 casualties and barely gained an inch of territories. So this is a waste of time of Italians because they already waste over 300,000 men but didn't get anything. And of course, the Alpine terrain of the Italian front was possibly the toughest battleground of the whole war. Battling dizzying high altitudes, heavy snowfall, and the frequent avalanches, the two armies had dug trenches into the jagged peaks of the Alps. Both sides had special troops, which is already trained to be able to lift or to hold heavy artillery and heavy things just like supplies to the trenches. Okay, and of course they had to develop ingenious engineering technique to do this thing. And during the war, around 650,000 soldiers lost their life at the Italian front. But that is during the whole war, the whole First World War. And just in 1915, in the winter of 1915 and 1916, alone about 100,000 men were died in avalanche. That is about the way Italia joined the First World War. Now we are going to talk about the Bulgari. So like Italy, Bulgaria government choose the side that made the highest bid of their support. And with the recent success in Galicia and Dardanelles, so the Central Powers seemed close to winning. So Bulgaria chose to go to the German side. And the deal was sealed in September 1915. Within weeks, Bulgaria and Austria-Hungary began a mass assault on Serbia on two different fronts. But Serbian troops had successfully fought off the Austro-Hungarian invasion at the start of the war. But the effort had left them exhausted, hopelessly outnumbered and low on ammunition. So they begged their allies for support. And on October 5, British and French forces landed at the great port of Salonika. But with Bulgarian troops right there, they cannot come to give supplies and help their allies. And of course, the allies couldn't get through it. 4 days later, the Austrians took the Serb capital, Belgrade. And of course, that is the declared for the winning of Bulgaria and Austria-Hungary against the Serbia, alright? And fearing brutally at the hands of these occupying forces, the Serbian army, its kings, bitter one, and thousands of civilians has become, let's say, I don't know how to say homeless in country, but yeah, they has moved. They fled across the mountains to Albania. Most made the journeys by the barefoot. And King Peter survived, but over 94,000 soldiers and unknown, but we know a huge amount of civilians died of cold and hunger during the way. And as a result, the Serbia has suffered a higher casualty rate, which is counted by percent on the population than any other country in the world. And about 155,000 Serbs were made it safely to Albania. Then they sailed to refugees camps in Corfu. Still, this is not the end of the Serbia history, because there are no surrender. After they recovered their strength, 80,000 Serbian soldiers joined the Allies at Salonika again, determined to take back their country. And they faced a difficult struggle. The armies on both sides dug trenches and settled in a long, hard battle for control of the southeast Europe. And of course, the opposite side of the Serbia is the Bulgaria and Austria-Hungary soldiers. Okay, so that's all I want to talk with you guys today about the history and also how that two small countries, which is the Italy and the Bulgaria, joined the First World War. And if you guys have any question, feel free to ask me in my channel. And now I think it's time for us to say goodbye then. See you, my viewer. Bye bye.